Okay. So, yeah, Andre, exactly. And if we want screenshots of all the Molly emotions, today is a good, or the ugliest faces that I can make, today is a great day for capturing those screenshots. So let's see here. And make sure I'm pulling, so make sure I'm pulling from Seattle and not on auto in my stream settings. All right, I don't know where that is, but let me figure out stream server auto. Oh, the server just says auto, and it won't let me do anything. Okay, well, I guess that'll be something I'll have to look at later. But, I guess today at the moment... Ooh, look, I'm on green. I have more green now than I have. Alright, you know what? This might be, okay, so this might be as good as it gets. I don't even know. Let's see, I got you on my phone so I can pull up OBS. Oh, the ads. Yeah, there you go. Okay, well, I'm seeing a lot more green now than I was earlier. So I think I'm going to have to leave this. So we're half an hour into the show, and I think this might be as good as it's going to get today. You guys, thank you so much for hanging out. Oh, and Wolfie Pet Gaming, thank you so much for subscribing, continuing your subscription. And thank you so much for the input. Between you and Shock, I'm starting to get a vague idea of things. I'm not sure I know what things I've got a vague idea of, but I'm starting to get a better idea of them. So thank you so much. Hopefully things will only get better. And Andre, thank you so much for the 500 biddies. And Picola T, you just saw the latest Downton Abbey in the theaters. Oh, I didn't know that is that the one where they go to France? I've seen ads on my YouTubes or somewhere, but is that the one where they go to France, where the lady suddenly has this like house in France that somebody gave to her? Is that the movie that you went to? Is that what I'm thinking of? Tell me what I'm thinking of. Is that what it is? Okay, so, Shock, you're looking at your settings, had to pull the PC out of your travel bag. Well, the weird thing is, I mean, you guys have been on the streams with me before, and never before, until this last week, did I have any kind of problem with my settings. I thought my settings were good, but apparently, Twitch has twitched some things around, and maybe I guess my things are not so good. And Andre, you saw that Bob's Burgers has a movie now. Well, they don't have the movie yet, right? I mean, I know they're writing one, but it's not out in theaters yet. And the reason why I say that with such urgency is because I actually love Bob's Burgers and I really want to see that movie. So that's not out in the theaters yet, is it? Is it? And, okay, cool. So Wolfie Pet Gaming, I'm definitely not as laggy as I was before, and Twitch did some stuff, and it has messed with all of us. Okay, cool. Well, I'm glad to know then that there's a method to the madness. There's a reason why things got all catterwampus. So let's see here. Shock, you're streaming at 2500. That's actually what I just lowered mine to. So I'm at 2500 as well. The encoder, I can't tell you what that is because I don't even know. What are you talking? The encoder? The encoder? What is an encoder? Where do I have an encoder? Oh, there's the encoder. I don't know, but it... Alright, we're gonna have to talk about that off stream because I don't know what you mean by that. Because my encoder is just auto or whatever it is. I don't remember what it is. But it's not a number. So yeah. So let's see here. Shock says, does the little arrow thingy beside server fail to give you list? And maybe I'm looking in the wrong spot. Well, my encoder just says hardware QSV, and it does have like up and down arrows, but it doesn't let me do them. Unless encoder is someplace different than where I'm at. Oh well. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Thank you so much. We'll be back gaming. Yeah, the stream settings are okay, so yeah, I went into settings and then stream, right? Okay, stream. And then, oh. Well, there is no encoder option on the stream settings. On the video settings, no. On the output settings is where I see the encoder stuff. So let's see here. And Andre's saying, I should have had a whiskey with Harvey. Now he's mad. Yeah, totally. I would have rather had some rum, but that's okay. That's okay. And so let's see here. All right, hold on. I can't do anything now. All right, now I can. And it looks like... Yes, okay, so I'm scrolling back up because I thought that Colity answered my question, which is yes, Downton Abbey people went to France, and now there's a film being made at Downton with actor Riff Raff. Oh, that's funny. Gotcha. I get it now. So they had to leave so a film could happen in their regular spot. I get it now. Okay. So let's see here. Shock, you're saying just go to stream. Look at the arrows beside server. Alright. Stream. Well, the arrows beside the server, they don't let me do anything. They might let me do something when I'm not streaming, but right now they don't let me do anything. So I'll just have to figure out and play with that later on. But it looks like maybe we're doing good because it looks like the dropped frames is only at 27% as opposed to like the 80% that it was earlier. And I'm assuming dropped frames, it's better that that's a lower number, maybe, or something. I don't know. I don't know. But what I do know is you know what I do know? How about this? Hey, Stinky Bed Sheets, how are you? You hope that I'm tipping your hat to me? Thank you so much. Hoping you're having a great day. Well, I'll tell you this much right now, Stinky Bed Sheets. I'm having an okay day, but my stream and the lagginess of the stream is making me very frustrated, and I'm feeling very foolish and annoyed at the stream. But other than that, I'm doing great. How you doing, Stinky Bed Sheets? Good to see you here. Thanks for joining Chatter with Statter. That's me. I'm Mad Statter, and now you are part of the Chatterbox crew. And so, Shock coming in with what I thought was true, but wasn't sure. Yes, lower dropped frames is good. Awesome. Okay. Woo-wee. And Andre says, you heard Jimmy Stewart in real life was not so nice. Yeah, that doesn't really surprise me, actually. Generally, some of the nicest people and on screen are probably some of the meanest people. Now, earlier on this stream, you got to see me being a little bit mean. I got on my last nerve and accidentally exploded. Sorry about that, guys. I know that I have a rule here, no swearing, and I broke it twice. But I was feeling a little bit stressed, shall we say. But things are getting better because you're catching my fall. And let me tell you, I've fallen about 18 times today, and you guys have caught me every time. So that is, so I'm so thankful for that. I'm so thankful for you. And Andre, thank you so much for the 10,000 biddies. Good Lord. My goodness. How did I miss that? And I think you even 500 more. I might have missed that too. So thank you so much, Andre. Thank you guys so much. And Rick throwing down the exact wonderful, perfect emotes, the flying forks and the soapbox. Two things that I have been known to get on and throw out. All right there. So what we're going to do right now, I guess, now that I've maybe I need to take a sip of some sparkling water. You know the flavor. I'm not going to say it because, actually I am going to say it because, Ann Ware and Vanilla Coke Pepsi aren't here. So I'm going to say it this way. I'm drinking some pamplemousse. That's right. Did you hear me say it? Pamplemousse? Pamplemousse. Oh, yes. I know how to say it. I just don't say it right normally. Yes, Wolfpack Gaming. LaCroix is amazing. And apparently I don't know how to drink it. But that's okay. It still is amazing. And the grapefruit flavor, I hate grapefruit, right? The grapefruit flavor is like my favorite flavor. And for those of you who don't know, pamplemousse is how you say grapefruit in French. And for folks who have been here on my stream for many, many weeks now, maybe even many months now, they know that that's not normally how I say my favorite LaCroix flavor. But don't tell Vanilla and don't tell Anne. I actually do know how to say it right. All right, Picola T, exactly. My secret pronunciation is safe with you. I mean, I'm only broadcasting it across the entire world to see, so I'm sure no one will ever know. All right, now that I'm back in a little bit of a giggly mood, why don't we chill out for a minute so I can get some more LaCroix in me without pouring it down the front of my dress or my shirt, whatever. Let's watch a Lono video, all right? And then we will come back and chat about whatever it is we want to chat about. Hopefully nothing tech related, because gall dang it, we've already spent a lot of time on tech. All right then, here we go. Let's watch some Lono. All right, excellent. Good to see you, Anne. I mentioned you earlier, and let me make sure. Okay, I think I'm not muted. So, Anne, good to see you. You missed the first part of the show where we were having serious technical menahoonies, and basically, the first like half hour of the show was spent with Shock and Wolfie Pet Gaming holding my hand, trying to make it so everybody else could actually watch the stream without incredible lagging. So now we just have a little bit of lagging instead of incredible lagging. Now, we also did a little something that was a secret. That's right. I did something that was a secret. Yes, I actually did something that you've never heard me do. You know this. You know what this is. I said it right. I said it right. I said the word right. Oh no, I'm not going to say it in front of you now. But I did in front of everybody else. I said it properly. And I said it properly because you and Vanilla weren't here. And I was like, okay, they're not here. So now I'm going to say it right. Hee 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 hee. Hee 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 hee. So there you go. Hee 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 hee. I know. Oh my God. What? Arg. Hee 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 hee. All right. So that's just me being silly. So much silly. That's me. Okay. So I want to let you guys know that I have found the house that I've been looking for, right? So, oh, that's right. Actually, I'll talk about the house I've been looking for later. But that's right, Rick. Oh, you also missed, Anne. You missed like the biggest. I had a huge crowd of entities waiting for this stream to start. Hey, Cindy Krause, good to see you. Fantastic. So glad you're here. So check this out. I had like a huge, massive amount of entities waiting for this stream to start. Before the stream even started, Shock and Rick were in the chat room just I mean, banning the bots and swinging the sword of mercy, no mercy. There was just so many bots that they got rid of before the stream even started. So we had those bots that were there. They're the reason why everything's messed up. I mean, probably not, but I'm gonna blame the bots, man. Yeah, okay, so Rick, exactly. 18 bans, and this happened before the stream even started. And so then, you know, we've got the technical menahoonies, and yeah, it was a bot slaughter for sure. So then we've got the technical menahoonies and the lagging or whatever. And then, oh, and you actually missed it, dude. I got so pissed off at some people that were new on the stream that I actually swore at them twice. I said the S word and the F word. I think I said the F word at least. I know I said the S word. Actually, I don't remember what I said, but I know I broke my own rule. Twice, dude. Twice I broke my own rule. I was definitely in a mood, shall we say. Well, they came in like at just the wrong time. I was in the middle of like stressing out over my lagging, and then they're all calling me a cow, and it's just like, screw you. I ain't got time for this. You can be nice or you can be gone. It's your choice. And so, yeah, Shock was just like, yeah, we're just gonna ban this guy. And yeah, it worked. Right, he was just trying to make me mad, and I broke the cardinal rule that every streamer knows, but today apparently was just not the day. But I broke the cardinal rule, which was I engaged with them and I gave them what they were looking for, which really was not a good thing. But it kind of felt good, I have to say. It did kind of feel good. And for those of you who are regular Chatter with Statterers, Statterbox crew, honestly, I do apologize. That language isn't something that language is something that I use regularly and in my real life all the time. On my stream, not so much. I really make an effort not to. So, I am sorry for that. That was pretty much uncool. But you know, sometimes it happens. So there you have it. It's generally not something that's going to be a regular on this stream, as I think you guys know. And I do apologize, but you know, it happened. Now, speaking of some things that happened last night, I actually went out in public. This will be the third time over the span of 3 months that I went out in public, and I went to a comedy show. There's a bar not too far from my house that every third Saturday has a comedy show. And this particular Saturday, they actually had like a real comedian. It's a comedian by the name of Curtis Cook. I think that was his name. Now, he's definitely not somebody that you're like, oh yeah, I know who that is. Or I mean, you might, but he used to be one of the head writers for Family Guy. And if you're not Family Guy, excuse me, American Dad. Seth MacFarlane has a couple different cartoon shows on the Fox network. American Dad used to be one of them. That the show is no longer being made. But anyway, he's one of the head writers for American Dad. He's worked for Comedy Central. He hold on. I think okay, anyway, he's an actual real deal comedian, and you could tell, like, he was super flippin' funny. And let's see here, Shock, you like Restart My Tunes? No, I didn't restart them. I think we were just between songs, maybe, or something. I'm not sure. So I have to say though, Curtis Cook, that's right, I was going to look up, see if that's actually what his name was. He was the comedian, I think. I'll tell you in a second. Yes, Curtis Cook. Funny dude. Really great. I mean, for a $15 ticket, 2 hours worth of comedy, 3 comedians. They were all quite funny. He obviously was super funny. I mean, he's a pro, clearly. But the super awesome thing is, every night for the last 3 months that I've gone to this comedy show, the crowd is getting a bigger and bigger and bigger. And I was talking to the wait staff there, the staff behind the bar, and it sounds like the bar is super stoked about this whole comedy thing, because it really is bringing in the money that they were hoping, that people aren't. I guess they were afraid that the $15 price tag would keep people away. But they're finding out now that no, it's actually not. And I have to say, the $15 price tag for 2 hours worth of stand-up comedy, to me, is a great ticket price. Sign me up every day. And so I had a wonderful time at that comedy club. Talked a little bit to Curtis as I was leaving. He wanted some cocaine. I didn't have cocaine, and I didn't know where to get him any cocaine. So, I didn't get him cocaine. Sorry. Sorry. Like, if you'd asked me like 25 years ago, I might have been able to, but yeah, I'm way past that. So anyway, yeah, super fun time. The staff at the bar are starting to recognize me, which I always like. I like to be known in a bar. That's just how that works. So my point of this is, if you have a chance to see stand-up comedians, even if you've never heard of them, dude, go do it. You're gonna laugh. It's gonna be funny. It's gonna be worth the price of admission. I promise you. I promise. And so let's see here. Andre's talking about things and stuff. And let's see here. Okay, so I'm I'm just scrolling now. Rick says, just hope nobody goes back and clips that. You bring up a good point there, Rick. I might have to. Yeah, you bring up a good point there, Rick. Let's hope not. And Andre went to a mimosa brunch with family. It was nice. They played lots of nice old school hip hop. So that was nice, especially with family. Good. Yes, Sunday is the good day for the mimosa brunch. And so, gosh, Darlene, you spent the day up until the show started with your grandson who turned 7. Love that little boy. Shoot, you guys, you're just full of birthdays in this little time of the year. I saw on your social medias that you had another birthday celebration, preemptive birthday celebration for one that's coming up in the next couple weeks. Yeah, it sounds like all your clan was born, you're born in this time frame. And, Pacola T, don't worry, we're getting there, right? And so let's see here. What did Cindy Krause do? I missed what Cindy did. Hold on, you guys get to see what everybody does. And I am so busy just babbling that I miss it sometimes. So Cindy Outside kitchen, move the stove around, then shredded old bank statements from your mother. Shredded old bank statements from your mom that you found stashed on top of a wall unit. No day off today. Oh my goodness, that is funny. Yeah, those bank statements from what, back in the 1900s, as it were. Yeah, and where, yeah, I might want to, I think I might have to do a little, muting, shall we say, before I upload this onto YouTube. But oops, whatever. Anyway, okay, so now we're gonna get back to the house. So there is a house that I've been looking for on Google Earth, Google Maps, Google, etc. A house that I grew up in, well, not grew up in, but I lived in Hawaii. I lived in 3 houses in Hawaii. One of them, I was so tiny, I was just fresh born. I don't remember it. So that house doesn't count. So basically I lived in 2 houses when I lived in Hawaii, right? I remember 2 of them. Thanks to Ann Ware, I was able to find one of them. But this other house, I couldn't flip and find to save my life, which was really frustrating because I knew what street it was on. I thought I knew what street it was on. I was spelling it wrong. So finally, the other day, I was like, hey, what if I spell it this way? And I found it. I flippin' found it. And it is exactly where I remember it, how I remember it, etc. Now, I'm going to show you this, but what we're also going to do is we're going to recreate what I did as a 3-year-old. My first experience with the cops. That's right. I don't know if you guys remember. If you've been here before, I've told this story. So, I was 3 years old, and it was a Sunday morning, and I was wearing underpants. That's right, underpants. And that's all I was wearing. Underpants. And my neighbor's dog, let me see if I can do this. Okay. My neighbor's dog looked like this. His name was Primo. He's an English sheepdog. And he lived next door. Now, I don't know if you guys know how big a 3-year-old is versus how big a sheepdog is. But, well, he was bigger than me, to say the least. But, so, all right, so, so this is the house. This is the house. And that white fence on the right-hand side of the picture, that is the fence that Primo used to jump over. And unfortunately, his leash was just long enough for him to jump over the fence, but he couldn't touch the ground. So he would end up hanging himself. So my mom would unleash him from his leash because she didn't want the dog to die, basically. So that happened one morning. And so Primo's running around the yard, right? And so I'm in the yard, Primo's in the yard. And so Primo decided to start running down the street. And so I ran down the street with Primo. And we ran all the way down the street. We ran down the street. We ran down the street. We ran down the street. Remember, I'm 3. He's a big English sheepdog. It's like 7 a.m. on a Sunday morning. And I'm in underwear. And I'm running down the street, running down the street, running down the street, running down the street, chasing the dog, running down the street. And so then we go running down the street, running down the street, running down the street, running down the street, chasing the dog, running down the street. And then we go, hold on, wait. There we go. We go, now this is the big main road. And we continue running down the street, running down the street, running down the street, chasing the dog, run around the street, run around the street, run around the street. And then the dog went into the shopping center. Now, this shopping center has had many different additions on it. Like, if you look straight across this parking lot, that is all new building. And if you look to the right, that is all new building. But if you go here, this shopping center, this area right here, this was there. This was there. And you see those wooden, no, that's not wood. You see those stone pillars? Yeah, so I have a distinct memory of the cop, you know, pulling through, and I'm like trying to hide behind the stone pillar. I'm trying to like make it so he can't even see me, you know, but I knew the jig was up. I knew the jig was up. And so, yeah, so ETLO, you know that place. You grew up near there. Right, exactly. So the cop comes and so to give you guys an idea, so the yellow line, so the rainbow is where the house was. And then the yellow line is the path that we just took. And then the sunglasses, because I figured those look like cop sunglasses, the sunglasses are where the copper picked me up, man. So, so I was super ticked. I mean, I was so angry. So flippin' angry that the cop picked me up because I knew where I was. My mom walked with me to that place almost every day. I knew where I was. No, I did not know my address. No, I did not know my phone number. But I was able to tell the cop how to get back to my house. And so we got back to the house. And at that point, my mom and dad had realized, because my mom thought that I was with my dad thought that I was with my mom. And at that point, they were, what? She's not, you know, and so just as they were realizing I'm not there, I get brought home by the cops. And so, yeah, I get brought home by the cops. Now I'm going to show you this little picture. So this is the picture of the actual house, right? Now, the house has since been built up to be a second story. It was only one floor when we lived there. And so so the orange outline is sort of like the original house, you know? So in the upper left-hand corner, you see a little angry cat in a space helmet. That was where our television set was. And basically, the cop brought me in, and I just sat myself in front of that television set right there and refused to answer. I refused to answer any questions. I was just so angry that I was indignant. I mean, I was indignant that just the audacity. How could that copper have even... it was unbecoming of a toddler to be brought home by the cops. There was no, and that's exactly it. The angry cat is me pouting. I knew my rights. Exactly, Andre. I kept my right to remain silent without a doubt. And Picola T, Rick, you're asking great questions. What happened to Primo? I don't know. He probably came home because he definitely, I mean, he eventually came home because he was around. He never wasn't there. So he must have come home safely. Now, why? What? You know, I mean, I don't know how I thought I could have brought him home. I mean, you know, you're three. I can't explain what my plan of action was. If I had caught the dog, how I was going to bring the dog home, I hadn't gotten there yet. I'll be the first one to admit that. I hadn't gotten there yet. But I was 3, so, you know, sometimes you only... Right, exactly, we'll be back. It's toddler logic. You know, you're only thinking so far in your plan when you're 3. And so, and where? Primo, yes, named after the beer. For those of you who might be familiar with Hawaiian beer in the 70s, Primo was a beer, and he was for sure named after the beer. And Rick, you bring up a very good point. Well, he was running because you were chasing him. That is very true. and you could have ridden him home like a trusty steed. That would have been awesome. Yeah, and Darlene's coming in riding him like a pony would have worked. Probably would have, actually. So that's basically that's the little house that I grew up in, or didn't grow up in, but that's the house that goes with the dog story, the cop story, however you want to phrase it. My first instance with the cops was definitely, I was an arrogant little toddler, is all I can say, and I can honestly say that not much has changed. I guess, 3 is when the personality starts to develop, huh? And, exactly, Andre, Molly, sheepdog rider of Oahu, precisely. And I would love it. And it was an epic adventure. I mean, I'm literally talking about it 45 years later, right? I mean, it just, it makes me giggle. And so I was so happy, though, to find this house because, like I said earlier, I knew what the street's name was, but I was spelling it wrong. Imagine that, spelling a Hawaiian word wrong. I mean, I see what I did and how I made the mistake. But yeah, so I'm thinking, now this is something that I probably shouldn't do. And I'm probably going to do it. I am thinking of going to that house and knocking on their door and just being like, hey, I used to live here, tell me a little bit about, whatever. And what I really want to do is I want to draw out the house as I remember it as a 3-year-old. And I want to actually see, I don't have to go in the house. I'm not asking to go in the house, but I just want to see, show that, did the house used to look like this before you built the second story? And I've got a lot of little things that I could tell them to prove, no, dude, there used to be a lime tree here. There used to be a mango tree here. There used to be a swing set on that tree. There, the lanai is outlined by a wall of 3 red bricks, 3 bricks tall. I know that because my dad was the one who installed it, and I really wanted to help him, and he was just like, no, laying brick is not something that toddlers do well. So he wouldn't let me do it. And so there's a whole bunch of little things. It's is the floor in what used to be the carport, was it maroon painted by any chance? Blah, blah, blah. All these little quirks that can prove I'm not just some random stranger knocking on your door. I actually kind of know about this. And the reason why I want to do this with this particular house is because the people who live there right now, have lived there since 87. Now, we sold the house in 78, but chances are in that 9-year span, there was still a lot of stuff that remains, like the 3 brick high lanai outline and the this, that, and everything. So I'm just, I don't know, I'm kind of curious if they let me inside, if we can chit chat, or if they're even going to be home, who knows. I just would love to check it out. Cause here's the deal. So the little, cloud part on this little outlier orange bit, that was the covered lanai that we used to have. And then the little pink circle that's sort of near the cloud, well, those were where our plumeria bushes used to be. And then where that green circle is down in the lower right corner of the yard, that's where the big mango tree used to be. And I don't know. I just I have lots of memories of that house. I used to talk to God in the backyard and when I was little. And just so you know, to my 3-year-old brain, God looked like a blonde-haired tan Mr. Rogers in a green sweater. So that's what God looked like to me when I was 3. And let's see here. You were told the police were good when you got lost, but otherwise to stay clear of them. Yeah, I was told that cops were good when you got lost too. But the thing is I wasn't lost. I wasn't lost. So why are you bothering with me? I'm not lost. That was basically my attitude. Not saying that it was a good attitude, just saying it was an attitude. So, Darlene, not sure if it's a great idea or not. Sort of torn which way would be the best. No, totally, dude. I mean, like, it's very, it's just like, not really sure it's a good idea, but I'm still probably gonna do it. Now, I don't think it's a good idea. I mean, some rando stranger coming to your house saying, I used to live here and blah, blah, blah. Oh, dude, I am not expecting it to end up well. But, you know, it doesn't, I mean, the worst they're going to do is pull a gun on me and tell me to get the heck off their property, right? You know, I mean, I suppose one step worse than that could be worser, and we know where that is. But seriously, I will not, like, be aggressive in that sense, right? And Rick, recon first, then decide for sure. Because I definitely, another reason why I wanted to figure out where this house was because I have this memory of the water that's like not right across the street from the house, but kind of across the street from the house, across the street and then down the corner a little bit. And I remember there was such a steep incline between the street level and then there was a super steep hill, and then it was basically just sidewalk, and then it was boom, the water, a drop off into the water. No beach, it's just water, you know? And I remember as a kid being so scared of that because it was there was no railing, basically. I mean, it really, in my mind, it was one of the most unsafe waterfront experiences I have ever witnessed in my life. And so I wanted to go there just so I could see really what it looked like and just see if my memory of it was like overinflated scariness. And then B, I also want to see like, wow, so do they still not have any railings there? Because they really should. Yeah. So I basically wanted to see the neighborhood. And let's see here. eMusic, you have done that before, and you were well received by the owners. See, I really do think it could, as as Darlene said, it could go either way. And I guess, you know, as long as Rick points out, don't drive past 20 times. Good advice, dude, because I probably would have. Really. I mean, like, honestly, you're stating the total obvious, and I still would just be like, I would have done it. So yeah, you know, I probably won't do that. I mean, I would have, but I probably would have. So hey, SS Dino 89, do not speak whatever language it is that you are speaking. But welcome to Statter with Chatter. Be nice. I'm Mad Statter, and now that you've chatted in the Chatterbox, you are part of the Statterbox crew. So there we have it, Rabbit. Now, yeah, let's see here. What are we talking about here? Picola tea. Okay, we're talking about, let's see here. Hold on. So, looks like, oh, okay. So it looks like guns might be hard to get in Hawaii, so I don't necessarily have to worry about getting a gun pulled on me. And Picola T's like, well, they still sell gun safes at Costco, so, you know. All right, good to know, good to know. So, and let's see here. A new gun law was passed at the legislature this year, so I don't know if that means it's easier or less easy to get the guns. Assuming it's probably less easy to get the guns. Either way, once you got the guns, you got the guns. And hopefully the people who live at that house don't have the guns. By the way, you guys, holy flirking snit. That's right, I said it. I was looking at Zillow or Redfin, I think Zillow, for the history of this house, which is how I know the people who live there now or rather, the people who own the house now bought it in like 87. And they bought that house. Are you guys ready for this? Okay, so, all right. Oh, where do I even begin? Okay, so the house right now is worth over $1 million. Now, I'm not saying that my family was very well off. In fact, the reason why we had to leave Hawaii is because my family was not well enough off. But we won't get into that. All I know is the house today is worth over $1 million. Do you know what it was bought for in 1987? Can you imagine what that house sold for in 87? I am so used to home prices on the West Coast being outrageously outrageous. Wolfie Pet Gaming, $160,000. Yeah, I would think that. You are wrong by so flippin' much, dude. You don't even know. 160, I would have been right there with you. 48,000, Rick. Too much. Too much, man. Too much, man. $18,000. $18,000 is what that house sold for. Is what that house sold for in 87. $18,000 is what that house sold for in 87. Okay, it was 18 and change. Why don't we do this? Why don't we just upgrade to 20,000, shall we? $20,000. Actually, it was less than that, but we're just going to make it a nice, even, round number. $20,000, worth over $1 million now. So like I said, when I say that like, oh, okay, it's like that $1 million house I used to live in. Yeah, it wasn't $1 million house when I lived in it. Just trust me on that one, all right? I don't understand how or why it was sold for so cheap. But yeah, it's now, the house is now worth $1 million. But my parents sold it in the 70s, so it's very safe to assume they did not get close to $1 million. In fact, sounds like it's safe to assume they didn't even get $20,000 for it. I have no idea what they sold it for. But to me, it's just like mind-boggling, laughable. I can't even comprehend I can't even comprehend how it was that cheap. But Rick coming in with some very true truths. In 87, interest rates were coming off of 16% on house loans, so prices dropped. That is true. I do remember that the interest rates back in the late 70s, early 80s for buying homes were outrageous. I mean, how anybody could even think of buying a home with a 18% loan on a piece of property, that's so crazy. But I guess that does sort of make sense. And Pakola T, it's the land that's so valuable in Hawaii, even if there's a shack built on it. Yeah, but seriously, dude, the house, I don't know how many bedrooms are in the house now. Like I said, the house has been expanded both outward and upward. So obviously there's value with what the improvements they did to the building. But as you said, Pakola T, it's the land, really. And it is. I mean, it's across the street from the water. But the house that I lived in, the 1-story rectangular shaped simple house that I lived in, it was a 3-bedroom house, 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house. I mean, it wasn't a shack, I mean, yes, the land was valuable for sure, but the house wasn't a piece of, wasn't a piece, it was an okay house. Now granted, the house now obviously better. It's got, as Andre pointed out, it's got the solar panels, and it's got the second floor and the expandedness. And Rick, no, just go on Zillow and scope the house out. I can't see. Well, I can and I can't. I went on Zillow and scoped the house out, which is how I know what it's worth now and what it was last sold for in 87. But because it was sold in 87, there's no indoor tour of the home. You know, the way you can on some listings, it's like, oh, here's the previous listing for when it was on the market. And so, you know, you can sort of see what the layout is and whatever. Well, they don't have any of that information on Zillow, at least not that I found. And the people who live there now might not actually be the owners. For all I know, they could rent it out, and the rental people who are renting that house from the true owners might just be like, you need to get off my property, even though it's not my property. I don't care that you used to live here. You need to go. You know, who knows if the people who own the house actually still live in the house. But Cindy Krause, looks like they built on a bunch too. Absolutely, they for sure did. Well, here, if you will put up with my little whateverness, the orange outline is roughly what the house used to be. So you can see, you know, like they've got the second story and then they built further off the back. So you can, you know, they definitely have expanded. I can only assume that by now it's a 4 or 5 bedroom house. With, you know, with like a sunroom or whatever. It looks like on the back, there's maybe the lanai is covered, and they've got, I'm not sure if those are solar panels or if those are like skylights or something like that. But yeah, they have for sure expanded the home. But even still, when the home was super tiny, it wasn't exactly super tiny. I mean, it was a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house. So, you know. So let's see here. Andre's saying your house was built in 1906, so it's old. Every time you look at it, it goes up. Wait, hold on. Every time I look at it, goes up. It creepy. I get postcards with Google Map pictures of your house asking you to sell your house. Oh yeah, yeah, I get those too. In fact, actually today I got a phone call from this guy. He called me twice. Missed the first time, but recognized the name. Second time he called. And he was just like, so I want to know if you want to sell your house. And I was like, yeah, dude, you can give me $600,000 and I'll move out. And he's like, well, we need to sit down and talk about how much it's worth. And I was like, no, we don't. You can give me $600,000 and I will move out of the house that I'm living in. Well, now, I don't know if you understand what I mean when I say that I'm going to offer you money. That means there's no closing costs and blah, blah. Yeah, I understand completely, I say. And what I'm telling you is there's nothing to discuss. There's nothing to sit down and talk about. I've given you my price. You'll either take it or not. Well, this sounds like it's kind of a waste of my time then. At which point I kind of lost it and was like, you're the one calling me on my day off, on my phone number, asking me to move and leave my house. I don't care if I'm wasting your time. I told you what it'll take for you to get my house. Click, he just hangs up on me and it's just like, well, you know, I mean, you're the one bugging me. I didn't come knocking on your door saying, hey man, how much can I get for my house from you? You're the one calling my phone number up. I told you how much I was going to sell it for. Is my house worth that? No. Is that the amount of money it's going to take to get me to move? Yes. Your choice, my friend. I don't know what to tell you. And so, Picola T, perhaps you could knock on the door, explain that you used to live there, then ask permission to take a selfie in front of the house. Could turn into an invitation inside. You never know. That's a really, really, really good way to approach that subject. I might take your advice and do that. That is a super, super good way to maybe be good. And hey, Jason Park 85. Too many telephone scammers, realty phone scammers, exactly. Now, he might have been 100% legit, I don't know. But the fact that he started to get angry at me because I am giving him an outrageous number. I admit, what I was asking for was absolutely, like, no, my house is not worth that. I mean, one day it might be. It shouldn't ever be worth that, but given the prices in Seattle, one day it might be. Right now, no, it's not. But you're calling me, asking me to leave my home and move, that's gonna take some money. That's gonna take some. What are you gonna bribe me? You're gonna need to bribe me. So you're gonna have to pay me for the house, and you're gonna have to bribe me, which means my number is 600,000. And if you're gonna get angry at me for offering out a number so quick like that, when you called me, well, sir, I'm gonna make fun of you on my stream later tonight, just like I'm doing right now. I don't know how long you've been lurking here, Jason Park 85, but thanks so much for coming back. And so Jason, you might have been here from the beginning, but I hope you weren't, because for the first half an hour of this show, it was nothing but technical awfulness. Now, whether or not for the rest of this half hour of this show, or rest of the show, the awfulness lagging is happening, we'll see. But you came in kind of at a good time and kind of at a bad time, because I'm just about to wind things up. It is 3 minutes till the bottom of the hour, and that is when I like to wrap things up. So I want to thank everybody for hanging out today. I want to thank everybody for the patience and the input and the instruction and the patience and the continuing to hang out despite the fact that you needed patience. I want to thank everybody who hung out last Wednesday when the stream was awful. Oh my God. When I watched the replay, I felt so horrible that was... I can't even imagine why you guys hung out on Wednesday. And I am so thankful you guys hung out and helped me today. And I will be continuing to look into all these little quirky burkies that everybody's given me. Wolfie Pet Gaming, you and Shock in particular, I'm going to be doing some things and stuff. Eventually, I'm going to get my stream elements shout-outs organized. But I'm not going to promise that right now. But I want to thank everybody else, all of the biddies. Andre, I'm looking in your direction for even more biddies right now. Gift subs, regular subs, resubs, all of the biddies, all of the patience, all of the everything. Thank you so much for hanging out. And I hope that we get to see each other next Wednesday, 5 p.m. West Coast time, 2 p.m. Hawaii time, 8 p.m. East Coast time, and 7 p.m. for all of my favorite Central time folks. You guys know who you are. So we're going to wrap it up today. And yeah, that's it. There we have it, Rabbit. This was a learning experience for all of us. And I'm thanking you guys so much for being here from the start to the finish. And you got to see the dog that I chased down the road. All right, then. Take care, you guys. Have a good one.